So briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm from America. I've been all around many places in Asia. I've been an English teacher, and that's one reason I'm here in Korea as an English teacher. I was here before COVID, and a lot of things has changed.
Like what?
Bureaucracy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gotten, I don't know if it's more efficient or more time consuming. Like before COVID, right? We could run down to immigration office, get things done in like a week.
Okay.
Now you have to go online, and it takes like 2 months. We'd get it done in a week, but I'd have to spend like all day sitting in immigration, right? But this time I have to wait 2 months, but I go there, come out, I'm like, okay, I get the thought behind it. Oh, the first time I came was back in maybe 2009, if I can remember correctly.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Right.
That's
And
when I came as well.
I spent a few years there, and then went back to America. Then I went to Thailand for a few years. Then I went back to America for a few years. Then I went to China for a few years, and then I went back to America for a few years. Then I come back to Korea.
Okay, so you've been to China, Thailand, and then Korea.
Yeah.
How is it different in those countries?
I'll tell you what, it's like, I'm trying to think. Of course, food.
Food is of course.
Food
different.
is always different, though.
Which is your favorite country?
Korea. Yeah.
Oh, come on. It's for real. Thailand.
Well, Thailand is fun, right? But there's weird things that are not efficient over there.
Such as?
Anytime somebody in Thailand messed up my immigration paperwork, I have to leave the country. And I was even working for like a school with the Thai government, and they couldn't even get the paperwork right half the time because it's so complicated, right? And it'd be kind of funny, like I'd do a visa run in Thailand where I would have to get on a van in Bangkok, ride it for 14 hours to Laos, then get at the border at 6 o'clock in the morning, get through, and then go to Vientiane, hang out in the capital of Laos for a few days, right? I did that so many times that one time I was in line like 50 people ahead of me, right? And the immigration officer's like, Daniel, you're back? I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, come on, man, come on. And I'm like, sorry, guys, I'm here way too many times.
Does that happen in Korea?
No, because it's like once the immigration is done, it's done.
What about in China?
Oh, China, man. That one's really difficult because the immigration officer in China is God. They literally have the power to give you as much grief as they want. And as an American, that would happen because anytime American politics make the Chinese angry, or can I say just piss them off? So anytime the Chinese get pissed off at Americans, the immigration officers will just in unison make things much more difficult. Like making me fly to other provinces, and it would like waste a lot of money trying to stay there, not getting deported, and it was very frustrating. I eventually did get very tired of all of that.
Oh, and then when you come to Korea,
does
that happen?
Yeah, it's kind of like it takes like the 2 months now after waiting in line, but once it's done, no problems. I could just relax, not have to worry about it.
So I guess Korea is somewhat orderly and then has a system.
Yeah.
No, not much bullshit, huh?
Yeah. So once I've got that ARC card, it's good, man. It's done. I like that. I appreciate that. So respect to the bureaucracy here.
I see. Other than that, what about like the students? How is it different? Chinese students, Thailand students, Korean students?
Well,
they're like
Okay, so in Thailand, the mentality is very different. Like they want it to be fun as the most important thing, right? Like you can almost even sacrifice if you're actually teaching them stuff as long as it's fun, because it kind of goes with like their culture. Like I think they say if it's not fun, it's not worth doing or something, and that can be a completely different here. Where in Korea you have to be everything's serious, so it's kind of opposite in many ways. So. Like in Thailand, they'll say like sabai sabai, like chill out, take it easy, right? No, I say serious. It's like definitely the desire to get it done right, and a really hard-working drive, right? Like the Hagwon system, right? Where kids go to school at night. They go to school in daytime and then at night. Very hardworking. They don't do that in those other countries.
China.
They were doing that, and then the government shut it down.
Oh, that's right, because they were spending too much. Also, when the government shut it down, it shut it down.
Oh yeah. I was in the process of trying to get a job at a really nice place in like a little island, right? And then just like this, the government shut it down. And all of the people were just surprised. The Chinese workers were there. The owners of the school just said, shut it down. Just shut it down, gave everyone their money back and refunded everyone and just shut it down. And there was this one guy, I don't know his name, but I just remember he was had $8 billion of net worth. I think it was billion, right? He had a bunch of these private schools, and overnight his net worth crashed to like 800 million because his schools went bankrupt. The immigration officers have the power of God given to them by government.
Would you go back and try to teach in China? Or
it would have to be a complete regime change before I would go back, because mainly the big thing is the leader that's there now. And I'm still so used to censoring what I say, I'm still afraid to even talk, even now. Because, like, in America, if you say something on Facebook bad about China, you can get banned from ever going there again. They put you on don't let them in the country list.
what about in Korea? Do you feel the freedom?
Oh, definitely.
You can talk shit about the president in Korea.
Yeah.
I did that.
Although I've not been here enough to get into the politics, but that's cool too. Yeah, right. It's free here. Yeah.
Wow. So Chinese are really China is really.
You must be afraid of the government. Yeah.
Jesus, that's a very surprising.
Yeah.
That's pretty insightful.
Yeah.
And does Thailand have similar?
It does, because you have to make sure you don't. It's a kingdom, right? So you have to make sure there's more freedom as long as you don't mess with the monarchy.
You don't talk shit about the king.
Absolutely not. That will get you thrown in jail. They don't care who you are. You do not diss the king, right? Because in Thailand, he's also a religious figure, right? Because it's kind of like in England, the king is also like the head of the church. It's kind of like that in Thailand, but with the Buddhism thing, where there's no room for debate on that, right? And they call it lay magistrate laws, right? Where I once knew a guy that, he dropped his coins on the ground, right? And he was stomping the coins to stop it, right? Someone called the police on him because he defiled the king's image by stepping on that coin.
Jesus.
Because also in Thailand, the feet are very, very dirty. So you don't do things with your feet. You don't point your feet at the people in the wrong way. You got foot etiquette over there, right? And so stomping, it's not just stomping the king's image, it's using the dirty part of your body. I mean,
Jesus.
yeah, and they called the police on him. He didn't get arrested, but he got a good scaring of that, right?
Would you compare living in Korea versus America? Which one would you? Where are you from in?
Well, the last place I was living was Kansas City.
Okay.
Right in the middle of the country, right? So that too, yeah, farmers, right? There's more cows there than people, yeah.
Okay.
Like maybe the state of Kansas, if you compare it to like a lot of the 50 states, might be like the size of Korea. Many of them. Some of them bigger, some little, right?
Yeah.
So imagine the entire country of Korea, but only 5 million people there.
Okay.
So that's what it's like in the rural states in America. They're big areas, but like only 5 million people. Very underpopulated. For me, right, as a citizen, I don't have the immigration issues, right?
Okay.
So it is different for me because like I have all these like rights to be there, and then it gets into local politics, like paying taxes and stuff. That's one thing I appreciate about being in Korea is that at a certain point I don't pay American taxes. Yes. It depends, and that's because of American laws. I think in America, I would have to pay taxes if my income is more than $90,000 a year, which I don't really get to that as a teacher here. So then that puts me in a weird, like a little tax exempt status back home. So I'm not paying American taxes. But that can be a problem though, because since I'm not paying the taxes, I'm not putting money into Social Security. So if I get old, I may not qualify if I spend too much time here.
Yeah,
but I'm getting money put into the Korean retirement fund.
Oh, really?
Yeah, foreigners. Yeah, once you're properly registered, a certain amount of your tax money goes into the Korean retirement fund. And if you can fill out the paperwork in Korean, you can work on that. So, and I think there's even, I've heard this, word on the street is that if I can file a certain form, I can cash out my Korean retirement from the government, but only one time. Now, you're telling me about like what's one of the first impressions I get about Korea.
Yeah.
Public transportation gets you places here. You can actually use it. Like in America, I might wait an hour to ride a bus, a whole nother hour, and because it only comes once an hour, it's not efficient, right? So one of the first things I notice is the subways and everything, right? It's like, wow, I don't need a car. That's amazing. As far as American politics, that's a California issue.
That's a California issue. Yeah.
Because of California state policies. And the rest of the country's kind of laughing at them for being kind of dumb with their policies. And then that gets into a Republican-Democrat thing. So it's like, there is really literally between a Democrat state and a Republican state, it's like night and day. There's like different cultures, a very different vibe to it. Oh, I like it. Overall, there's a lot to like about it once you get set up. Seoul's a really fun area. It can be very difficult living in the rural areas where you can feel very isolated easily. But once you get into like Seoul, everything's popping. It's a lot of fun.